morning, everyone. My name
Good
is
morning.
Bhatia,
Ah,
and I welcome all the participants, all the panelists. So, I represent AgroVision Foundation, and I'll be the moderator for today's panel discussion on the impact of COVID-19 on poultry sector and the road ahead. So, as we all know, that entire world is passing through the most difficult times due to COVID-19, and the poultry sector, even more essential than ever, has not gone untouched.
sure.
May I request everyone else to put their speakers on mute, please?
No. You can see less people here. And
Only
we
good.
have to go.
Mr. Reddy, could you please put your speaker on mute?
If you want to see how many.
So while all the commercial and private establishments have been ordered to close down, poultry, meat, egg booths are allowed as essential services. However, a number of small poultry farmers across the country are reeling after sales have crashed over false claims that chicken are carriers of the coronavirus. States of Maharashtra, Karnataka, Odisha, and Andhra Pradesh appear to be the worst affected, with farmers resorting to panic sales.
ये बंद करना पड़ेगा एक मिनट रुक।
Mr. Pawar, could you please put your speaker on mute?
मेरे को क्यों नहीं ले रही अंदर हो गए के पार्टिसिपेंट बोल
Bhatia.
Kusum, can you please put all the participants and unmute me? Yeah, okay. Apologies for the disruption. So under these difficult times, various disruptions have taken place, and it has been distressing for all small poultry owners, organizers who are waiting to see light at the end of the tunnel. So Team AgroVision is working very hard to support the industry, and keeping this in view, this webinar will highlight a perspective on the evolving situation, understanding the current issues of the poultry sector and the way forward. So from the AgroVision Foundation, we have Dr. C.D. Mai. He is Chairman, AgroVision Advisory Committee. Mr. Ravi Boratkar. He is President, AgroVision Foundation, and publisher, AgroSpectrum and New Food Spectrum. And we have a distinguished panel here today, and in a fundamental sense, they need no introduction. So I'll be very brief, and without further ado, I would like to welcome our distinguished panelists. So we have with us today Dr. Sujit Datta, Deputy Commissioner, Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying, Government of India. Dr. Dhananjay Parkale, Additional Commissioner, Department of Animal Husbandry, Government of Maharashtra. Mr. Suresh Chituri, Chairman, International Egg Commission, and he's the Vice President of All India Poultry Breeders Association, and he's also Vice Chairman and MD of Srinivasa Farms. Dr. Rudranath Chatterjee, he's the Director, ICAR, Directorate of Poultry Research. Mr. S.V. Bhave, he's the Chairman, the Compound Feed Manufacturers Association. Mr. Ramesh Chand Khatri, he's the President of Poultry Federation of India. Dr. Prasanna Bedgaonkar, he's the GM of VH Group. And Dr. A.K. Rajput, he's the Executive Director of All India Poultry Breeders Association. So now I would like to request Dr. C.D. Mai for his opening remarks. Kusum, if you can unmute Dr. C.D. Mai.
Okay,
Mai?
are you able to hear me?
Very much,
Yes,
sir.
are you able to hear?
Yes.
I welcome all the panelists. I think these are distinguished panelists, and I think you can deny the fact that the governments, both including government, is quite aware that this pandemic has actually particularly been varied from food, feed, and fiber sectors. So also the agri-dependent issues which are very important. Direct losses due to sharp decline in the demand, and these are being the vector of the viruses. Let me say that India is the fourth largest
Dr. Mai, it seems that
issue
you have
that is the
very
broiler
poor
for meat
connection.
and the table eggs. If together almost 45,000 crores eggs. Pardon? Are you able to hear now?
So yeah, I think your bandwidth is low. So may I request all the participants and panelists to switch off their videos? Yes, sir, please go ahead.
So I think, yeah, so it appears that the sector is a very important one. And there are lots of farmers, nearly 10,000 farmers, poultry farmers are dependent. And more so, actually, the problem is with soybean and maize farmers who are also big suppliers of feed for them. So overall, if you look into it, I think more than 10 to 15 million people indirectly are affected by this business. I am happy today that the panelists have very varied experience which they have, and I'm sure that they will be able to bring out some very concrete suggestions to the government. Although every sector is demanding some kind of loan waivers, some kind of interest waivers, but I think in addition to that, I find that after the COVID pandemic recedes down, I think we'll have to find a roadmap, like something where can we have more conversion of these basically eggs, or like what in America has more on the products which can be frozen and other things, and then can be exported. So there would be a new potential for this. So I think all this will be discussed, I am sure, and I welcome all the panelists and welcome on behalf of AgroVision Foundation. Thank you very much, Vibha.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Mai, for your opening remarks. So I'll start with my questions. My first question is for Dr. Datta and Dr. Perkale. So the impact of COVID-19 crisis has been felt and seen across the sectors. While some categories might be up and running in no time, and other might be left grappling and struggling to return to what they were in the pre-COVID area. So in this unprecedented scenario, where does the poultry sector stand today? So Dr. Datta, if you would like to take this question.
राघव देखिए हमारा तो नेट ठीक है ना, हमारा तो फोटो आ रहा है.
Dr. Datta. Dr. Perkale. Dr. Perkale, can you hear us? Okay, I think hello.
I think we are not able to hear Dr. Datta or Dr. Perkale.
Okay, so Mr. Chituri, would you like to take this question? Where does this poultry sector stand today?
Good morning, all. I mean, as has been mentioned, I think the rumors about the effect of Corona as, especially wiped out entire Feb and March for the industry. Only towards the end of March, with certain effort from government and from the industry and all that, we've been able to disconnect the rumors with what's happening, and some way the consumption has come back. But then, of course, we were hit with the lockdown, the movement, and all that. So, to a large extent, that's been the challenge that we have been facing. And the biggest challenge for us now is I think Feb and March, we were struggling as it is for the last year before that for not getting remunerative prices because maize and soya prices have jumped up tremendously. And so farmers are already struggling with not getting remunerative prices, but this has kind of really hit us hard. I think the industry, I think the capital got wiped out for most of them, and that's where we sought government support. We had a precedence. We had this similar situation in 2006 when the rumors of bird flu had come, and government had stepped up and supported us, and from then to now we have grown 5 times. So the industry has grown 5 times, has added a lot of value to the national economy and to the national health. So I think that's where we are once again asking government. We are not asking for any waivers or write-offs, but we are definitely asking for a reschedulement of loans so that we can bounce back. And then, of course, there are things that we need to learn out of this and take better opportunity of this. There are for sure opportunities to export, but then it needs a certain kind of game plan that the industry and the government needs to come together and work on. Because the opportunities and the potential is tremendous. It's just that, do we do it the right way, or do we allow it to keep drifting in and out and see what happens? As it stands, if government doesn't support,
Ms. Datta, please mute your speaker.
I'm afraid close to between 30 to 50% of the existing guys might not be able to survive if government doesn't step up and support. And this will be mostly with the small guys and the small people who are suffering. And so yeah, that's how I look at it. Now you ask me what will be the industry like in 2030, 2040. There is no doubt about where it will be. I think it will be between by 2030. My expectation is it will be 3 times the size it is today. But then the point is, I think the policymakers have to decide who do they want to be there. You know, is it some big guys and no small guys at all, which I think would be a big mistake, because poultry has been instrumental in transforming rural economies, rural livelihoods, and especially in this day and age when there's so much migrants going back and all that, I think to support them, again, poultry can play a tremendous role, especially in underdeveloped areas. And then, of course, we have to do some promotion about the goodness of the products. I think that's something that we are really, really very, very amateurish about, if I can use that word. I think so. Yeah. So that's how I see it. Vibha, thank you.
Well, great. Thank you very much, sir. Kusum, can you just try? I just got a message from Dr. Datta that he's online again. Can you just check if you can?
Who, ma'am?
Dr. Sujit Datta. Dr. Datta, if you can raise your hand, maybe then Kusum can identify you.
Okay, fine, ma'am. Finally, I got it.
Okay, wonderful. Thank
you. Yeah, it was yeah, just a second.
Mr. Datta, can you hear us now? Dr. Datta, can you hear us? Okay, so my next question is to Mr. Dr. Rajput. So Dr. Rajput, since you are also the Executive Director of All India Poultry Breeders Association, what is the feedback you're getting from your members about the current scenario?
Good morning, everybody. You see, as Mr. Suresh Chitri has already spoken,
yes,
that we have been, in deep crisis from February till March. And up to now also we are in different type of, earlier it was a different type. The demand has bottomed out and there was a huge loss. Up to March, this industry has lost almost about 22,500 crores. Let me tell you, this industry implies about 10 lakh poultry farmers directly and 1.3 lakhs, associates. And even the maize industry, if you see, we consume extra maize. All the maize farmers, they are depending on the poultry industry. So, from the month of February, March, there was a very big rumor that there were people who are, attaching coronavirus with the chicken and eggs. So, consumption went down. So, now it is coming up with a lot of efforts. The biggest problem is, this is, as far as impact is, it's a huge impact. People have lost their total capital and they are in deep crisis. What is the road ahead? Let me talk to you. You say this is, as you say, every cloud has a silver lining. No doubt we are in a very big, industry is in a very big stress. But we feel that as in India, whatever we are doing, 95% we are consuming in India. We have never gone out for the export market. I think future will be in the export also. We should work hard, government as well as the industry, to explore the nearby countries, because if you see the Brazil, it is in one corner, but it is a leader in export. So export has to be. Second, we have to go for frozen chicken, because so far, just now we are faced. Transportation of the broiler was very, very difficult. Availability of broiler shops were closed. If it would have been a commodity like in general stores, people would have been buying, and if the transportation of frozen would have been much more easier. So, and we should look for frozen for future. And for eggs also, we should look for, for space. If any deep crisis come, there should be more cold storages. And as it is mentioned, I will specifically tell you, we request, government for future to give 2 years minimum moratorium for us and repayment period of 5 years. So 7 years of the period should be there with a 2 year of the grace period. There should be 100% interest subvention for 2 years. There should be additional working capital for the industry. There should be small farmers, because many small farmers, they are not able to, they will not be able to get the government benefits and other things. So we request there should be any farmer with less than 20,000 capacity, he should be given minimum 100 rupees per bird as a one-time assistance to restart. And feed should be subsidized. Like FCI has got a lot of stock, so they should give, maize and rice at a subsidized rate to the farmers. And there's a GST on soya, which was not there, which is increasing our soya, our feed cost is increased by this soya almost 30%. So we want to reduce this cost because we are using, this non-GMO crop, soya. So our cost is already higher. So we want that initially when GST came, there was no GST on the soya meal. But now there is a GST, we want it should also be removed. So I'll listen to others. Few things I'll patch in whenever I require. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I believe now I have Dr. Sujit Datta and Dr. Parkale. I can see them online. So Kusum, if you can just quickly, unmute Dr. Datta first. Dr. Datta, can you hear us? Dr. Datta? Dr. Parkale? Dr. Parkale? Hello, Dr. Parkale?
Yeah, he's there.
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you, but you're not. We can't hear you properly. Can you just speak?
Are you getting me now?
Yes, now we are. Yeah. So, little louder, please, sir.
Yes. Regarding your first question, what are the government from the very first day of lockdown? Actually, the impact on poultry industry started much before that, much before the onset of lockdown on 25th of March. It started somewhere between 15th and 20th February when some video was uploaded by somebody and it stated that the corona infection gets spread through poultry meat. So therefore it started, but we immediately reacted upon that. We launched an FIR and the police also reacted very quickly, and they caught the from where the video was originated. After that, about the comments made by the small holders are very important. Government have already been supporting small holders. The various schemes which the government runs is regarding small holders only. About the comments of Dr. A.K. Rajput, the frozen chicken should be promoted and export should be started. As of now, we are relying on our domestic consumption only. Yes, very right. We must promote export, and for that, slaughterhouses, the government is supporting slaughterhouses. The installation of slaughterhouses, the processing plant under the food processing ministry, a lot of schemes are there to support that. Regarding moratorium on the loans which are taken by the poultry owners or hatchery owners, the government will be deciding in due course of time about that. But right now, what is the facility available for smallholders? The government has recently included the animal husbandry component, including poultry, under the Kisan Credit Card. So any smallholder can get about 1.60 lakh immediately on Kisan Credit Card for 1 year, and that is very marginal rate of interest. It's very marginal rate of interest. So
sir, I'm sorry
yeah.
to interrupt, sir. Could you please speak a little bit louder? Because a lot of people are sending us messages that they are not able to hear you. Maybe if you can keep your mic in, a little bit louder. Yeah. Or maybe you can increase the volume from your laptop, then we'll be able to hear you properly.
So volume is already high.
Yeah, now it's, I think, a little better. Go ahead.
Okay. Regarding the loans to farmers, for smallholders, government has initiated very good move before 2 months only. On Kisan Credit Card, now poultry and other animal husbandry components are included, wherefrom they can get a loan at very marginal rate of interest. That is, the effective rate comes to only 2 or 3%, because although it is 7%, earlier it was 12.5% from the bank, what they were getting. But now they are getting at 7%, and the effective rate further, there are rebates to the extent of 5%. So effective rate comes to 2 or 3% at the most. So 1.60 lakh they can get immediately, and depending upon their capacity to repay, the banks can also enhance their loan amount. So that is one more facility the government has given to smallholders. The one-time assistance, there are several cooperative poultry schemes, farms, which have been running under the NCDC, National Cooperative Development Corporation, which had given them loans. So it is under consideration that loans can be rearranged, term of prepayment can be extended. The policy decision is to come, but that will, I hope that will happen. Regarding GST also, it is under consideration. Now everybody is aware that government is also facing crunch of funds. So regarding GST, it will not be only limited to one sector, but the government has to consider all the things, all the sectors holistically. So that is for the time being. As the conference proceeds, I'll comment again.
Well, thank you, sir, for sharing your views and sharing what the government has to offer to all the people who are in this industry. I believe now I have again Mr. Datta, Dr. Datta with me. Dr. Datta, if Kusum, you can unmute me. Dr. Datta, you have been unmuted.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry,
Yes.
after a lot of trouble, I could be able to connect finally. Now tell me this, what is your actually question? I am listening all this conversation between the panelists and all these things.
Yeah, so we were talking about the current scenario, and we were asking our panelists about the poultry sector. Where does it stand today? And, what will be the post-COVID scenario, how it can be brought back to the normal track? So if your views can be shared on this.
See this immediate, there are 2-3 kinds of steps we need to take. It is both the government and industries need to work together. It is not only the government can do alone, because the entire economy is suffering because of this lockdown. We reviewed this all the states. I think our minister and our secretary, they are continuously reviewing the situation and monitoring the situation from here. And what we could understand, we reviewed 37 states on last Friday. Last Friday. Out of that, 34 states out of that 29 states, they have reported this. Yes, there was drastic downfall in the poultry market, and now this market is slowly picking up. 5 large states, there the problem lies. This problem lies because of this state administration, where despite of the government is taking various steps and MHA guideline is there to start the business of the egg and chicken. But still, because of, I don't know why it is happening, the states governments, they are taking the drastic measures and they are not allowing movement of the eggs and chickens. Now the scenario is that if when you are going to the local market, this consumer price, the consumer price has not gone down. The consumer price still the chicken is selling at the rate of 200 rupees per kg, and this egg price is 150 rupees per 30 eggs. So consumers, when consumers are going, the consumers are purchasing this all this chickens and all these things in a high rate. Now, situation is that poultry industry has been approaching the government seeking moratorium. The poultry industry is right from the high feed cost, high maize and soya, and all these things, and government is trying their level best to provide some respite to the industry. Now, the situation is like that. The government has never intervened with the poultry industry. That's why this poultry industry has gone like anything. So though we are trying to give some respite to the industry, but we do not have that kind of data from the in respect of the industry. Say quantum of loan poultry industry has taken, poultry farmers has taken, because you know this there are very small farmers, there are integrators, there are the farmers who have not taken any kind of bank support, and they have taken support from other ends. There are so many issues on that, and we are working on that. This how to give this some respite to the industry. Now the second issue is that why this situation poultry industry is facing for time and again. So industry should understand this problem, and they should think how to shift this the current scenario of the poultry business. Say this yesterday there was a news from the US poultry. I do not know whether it is true or false. This US poultry, they are downsizing their production, and they are depopulating these large number of birds, and through the culling process is what they are following in the bird flu operation. Now, what this problem is that Indian poultry is mainly dependent on the wet market. So, this wet market situation, we have to change this situation. We do not have that much of processing industry in our country. I think only the 5% of the products, whatever is producing, are processed. And Indian Indian people are not habitual of eating the processed or frozen and whatever be frozen and chilled meat. So I can give you one suggestion. In a country I went Poland, where we have seen they have developed a very good chilled meat supply chain by the industry itself. Suppose the farmers industry who are producing the chicks, they have set up the slaughtering plants, and they are processing their meat there, and from Monday to Friday they are supplying the frozen chicken to the consumers directly through their own network. So the industry, whatever price they are getting, that price they are able to distribute to the farmers, not to the middleman. Now today's the poultry industry is suffering only because of the reliance on the middleman. Because this middleman, they are the main player. They are cheating the farmers and they are cheating the industry. Industry knows this very well. They are procuring the meat from the bought from at the rate of 50 rupees farm gate price, and from there they are selling the products in the 200 rupees per kg. Now see this how much difference it has. So first thing is that this industry should set up their own channel of marketing and own channel of processing technology, and we should invest on the processing sectors. So obviously government will stand by the industry, and the government will support the industry whatever within the framework of the government framework, within the financial framework, within the policy available with the country. And this is my views with this present scenario.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your views. And sir, I just would like to ask you one more thing. Like, you know, there are, I believe, governments working very hard, and the government is like, you know, assessing the situation at all levels of the impact of lockdown on respective sectors. So what's your assessment about the, is there any plan to devise a new scheme or assistance for the sector after the assessment? Dr. Datta? Dr. Datta? Kusum, if you can unmute him, please.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Kusum?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Yeah, I'm audible?
Yes, you're audible, sir. I was asking that, you know, government at all level is assessing the impact of lockdown on respective sectors. So I just wanted to check with you, is there any plan to devise a new scheme or assistance for the sector?
See, this government scheme is mainly we are implementing these schemes to the state government. We have requested whatever request made by the poultry industry, we have passed on to the appropriate authority of the country to have some policy change. Some of the policy change, financial policy has been announced by the government. That is deferment of the 3 months EMI, and after 90 days there will not be any NPS. However, this interest rate will be charged to whatever the financial policy as on date government has declared. And let us see this in future, what more policy change will be coming, and let us wait on what announcement are coming. Though we are requesting and we are sending our demand, the ministry's demand to the highest authority, and we are working some of the things to, the days will come, you will see some kind of policy changes.
Okay. Dr. Rajput, as a ED of the association, I'm sure you have had many interactions with the government regarding the policy framework during the current scenario. So could you please share it with us that what are the recommendations that you've given to the government?
See, some of the recommendation for the industry knows better. They have asked for the some moratorium for 1 year grace period, and some of the interest subvention, 5% interest subvention scheme for working loan. So what poultry industry is required today is the interest subvention scheme for the working capital. So working capital is required because capital is not there with the farmers. They need to place their chicks and they require the feed. And if the government or bank can arrange for the working capital, so industry can revive within a period of 6 months. You know, it's a very fast growing sector, and we can again stand within 6 to 7 months when the new products are coming.
Well, let's hope for the best, sir. So, Dr. Rajput, the same question to you. Yes, sir.
This sound is very low. Can you increase the sound?
Dr. Rajput, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. 1 second.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
no.
Dr. Rajput,
Okay. Yeah.
the same question to you, since I was asking you that since you work with this association, so I'm sure you must have had some interactions with the government. So what are the recommendations given by your association to the government?
Yes, on 30th March, we have submitted this paper to the government, to all the people. So we have special, this recommendation was restructure of the loan. Number 1, conversion of existing working loan, CC limit to term loan for 2 years moratorium, repayment period of 5 years, total 7 years of repayment period, grace period of 2 years for repayment of existing term loan to all poultry industry units. Number 2, interest subvention, 100% interest subvention for 2 years on all the borrowing to account for the massive losses that industry has suffered. 3, additional working capital. Please extend the relief by announcing to all the financial industries that poultry farmers and companies account receivable to more than 90 days should not be considered as NPS until 180 days and should extend additional working capital for operations. 4, small farmers compensation. All small farmers with less than 20,000 capacity should be given 100 rupees per bird based on their chick purchase bill paid through banking transaction. In 2006, as Mr. Chitri has already told, we were given rupees 40 per bird compensation by Government of India from 1st January to 25th of March of chicks purchase. 5, subsidized feed grain. We request government to kindly provide poultry, wheat and rice at the subsidy rate of rupees 10 per kg and allot minimum of 30 lakh metric ton from the FCI. Then 6 is removal of the GST from soya seed meal. So there is a 5% GST on soya seed meal. It should be removed. I add to this, there should be, on the processed chicken, as now it's a future for us. So we didn't work much, but there is a 5% GST on the processed chicken. So we cannot compete with the wet chicken. Already, when you are processing the chicken in the plant, the cost of processing is almost 10 rupees per kg more. And if we have to pay 5% more, it becomes very costlier to the customer, and people may not like to buy in India. So to promote frozen chicken or chilled chicken, GST should not be there. I think this is what at the moment we are considering.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, sir, for sharing all the recommendations with us. I'm sure Dr. Parkale and Dr. Datta would make a note of it and would try and incorporate as much as they can in the policy framework. My next question is now for Dr. Rudranath Chatterjee. Dr. Chatterjee, for this sector to grow on an accelerated path, new entrepreneurs or companies should require a strong R&D support, not only in terms of preservation and nutrition, but so I want to ask you how you are planning to enhance your collaboration with private sector at this time, and what initiatives have been taken by ICAR Directorate of Poultry Research in the wake of COVID-19 for the poultry sector, and what are the future plans?
Good morning, madam. Actually, we were having already a good linkage between our institute as well as industry, and we were working particularly on the feed industry, along with the feed industry as well as with the health industry also. So, if you see now, the main feed ingredients for the poultry industry, that is the energy source is the maize, and the protein source is the soybean meal. Now we have found out not only our institute, some of the other ICAR institute as well as the university, some of the universities, they have worked on the alternative feed ingredients. Particularly now, the main problem is the availability of maize and soybean meal in the particular in the area where the farms are there. So we have found out some of the alternative feed ingredients, like for maize we can go for broken rice or bajra or sorghum, which can be say given up to the 30 to 40%. Similarly, for soybean meal, sometimes there is increase in the price, and fluctuating price is also there. So farmers are facing problem, particularly the commercial industry. They are facing problem in getting the soybean meal in a moderate cost. So for the alternative, also we have found out the protein source like cottonseed meal. That was the main research from our institute, this particular institute, that we have given to the industry, that cottonseed cottonseed meal, that can be a very good alternative, and that can be added up to 10 to 15% to the poultry feed. Similarly, rapeseed meal is also there. So, in feed, in the feed aspect, feed is the 70% of the total production cost is the feed. So, maize and soybean, which is having the fluctuating as well as increasing trend in the market. So, we have given to the industry the alternative feed resources. Means in the locally available market, whatever energy sources or the protein sources are available that can be used up to what percentage that we have given to the industry. That is number one. Then health aspect, we are continuously doing service in the health aspect. Like I will give certain example. Some of the diseases like CRD, chronic respiratory disease, that is being caused by Mycoplasma gallisepticum and Mycoplasma synovium. But in our country, the Mycoplasma synovium, which is also a causative organism for the CRD, that was not recognized in this country. So with our research, that Mycoplasma synovium that has been recognized by the Government of India, that is the DASD, Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying, Government of India, and thereafter the multivalent vaccine for both Mycoplasma gallisepticum and Mycoplasma synovium, they are being marketed here by the health industry. Similarly, there are some other viral diseases like infectious bronchitis. So, infectious bronchitis, there is a recently there is a nephropathogenic strain of infectious bronchitis. So it was not there, and the present vaccine, whatever is available in the market, it is not working properly. So with our research, it has been found that yes, infectious bronchitis, nephropathogenic strain, that has to be incorporated in the vaccine schedule. So after this type of work, the farmers are getting benefited, the commercial poultry industry are getting benefited. Besides that, we are getting routinely the samples from the industry. Those samples we are analyzing in our lab, and we are telling that this is because of this particular disease, and this is the remedy for this particular disease. Similarly, this type of collaborative and contract research project that is going on through PPP mode, that is public-private partnership mode, as per the ICAR guidelines, we are doing with the industry, and we are also taking the consultancy project with the industry. So this will be helpful for both feed industry as well as the health industry. Besides that, as you have mentioned about the say the backyard farmers or the rural poultry farmers. So for the backyard or the rural poultry farmers, we have developed the improved varieties, and it is known by the whole industry that we have developed Gunaraja, Gramopriya, Srinidhi. These are the improved varieties we have developed. Besides that, we have developed for the commercial industry like Krisibro, that is the broiler strain, colored broiler variety, then Krisi layer, and besides that, we have also developed some other intensive variety which can produce up to 315 to 320 eggs per year. So for intensive farming as well as for the backyard farming, we have developed the improved varieties, and besides that, we have developed certain varieties which are as per the consumer preference, which are location specific variety. We have different ASRP centers. In those ASRP centers, we have developed the location specific varieties. Those improved, because of those improved varieties, the farmers are getting benefited. And you know that the doubling farmers' income, that is the priority of the present government, and we have to double the farmers' income by 2022, by next 2 years. So that is the priority by the central government or by the whole country. So if you see the varieties that we have developed, the egg production as well as the meat production by those improved varieties, they are just double or triple than that of the native variety that is available in this country. And besides that, you know, there are 19 registered breeds of chicken in our country that has been registered. Now, some of the breeds, they are getting endangered. Their population is declining. So for those breeds, out of 19 breeds, we are conserving and improving those breeds. 9 breeds we are improving as well as conserving, and we are utilizing those native breeds for the development of the new variety. So preservation or the conservation of the native breeds, that is also a priority, because if we lose those breeds, we will lose some of the genes which are responsible for the tropical adaptation, which are responsible for the benefit that we can get for the climate change resilient agriculture, or temperature is increasing. So for this heat stress resistant variety we can develop with those after applying those genes in our variety. So these are some of the things we are doing, and particularly about the COVID-19, as has been mentioned by the earlier speaker, that if you see the poultry industry as a whole, at present we are having around 3,000 million broilers in a year. So the market age is around 5 to 6 weeks. Mostly it is 5 weeks, by which a poultry bird or the broiler that can weigh 2 kg meat. So 3,000 broiler divided by 10, that is the 5 weeks. Every 5 weeks we are producing around 30 crores, 300 millions or the 30 crores of broilers. Now, if you see the effect of the COVID-19, there was a multimedia propaganda by the WhatsApp, by the Facebook, and some of the journals also, magazine also, that this COVID-19 that may be propagated through chicken. So my sincere thanks to the DISD, Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying, as well as the industry, that immediately a letter has come from the Animal Husbandry Commissioner that there is no link between the COVID-19 and the chicken, and that particular aspect has been investigated and experimented by the Chinese group of scientists, and they have shown that there is no link between the COVID-19 or the coronavirus and the chicken, and the people, they can take the eggs and the chicken very safely. There is no problem at all. So that particular aspect is also there. So actually the 2 months, that was the crucial period between 15th February and 15th April. That was the crucial period where the broiler industry that has been affected to a maximum extent. So if we calculate that one broiler that is having 2 kg body weight at 5 weeks of age, so the farmers, they were selling around 10 rupees or 15 rupees or 20 rupees a bird, a single bird. And single bird in any city, maybe in Hyderabad or in the southern part of the country, we have seen that the live body weight they are selling usually at the rate of 80 rupees kilo or 90 rupees kilo, mostly. So one bird costing around 150 to 200 rupees, just 1 or 2 minutes, 150 to 200 rupees. So if you calculate in that way, the broiler industry that has suffered a loss of around 6,000 crores rupees in 2 months. In 2 months they have suffered. And besides that, the feed industry, if you calculate, if you incorporate that particular aspect also, around 1,000 crores that has suffered, the broiler industry alone. So around 7,000 crores for the broiler industry has suffered. And if you see the layer industry, 260 million layers are available producing eggs in our country. So 103 billions of eggs are being produced by this country, and every day in our country 27 to 30 crores of eggs are being produced. And the production cost in any city or in any area, the production cost of an egg is 3.7 to 4 rupees per egg. And it was being sold by 2 rupees or 2.5 rupees per egg in the last 2 months. Now, of course, these things are changing in a positive direction. So the layer industry that has also suffered a loss of around 2,000 crores. So total of around 8 to 9,000 crores, that was the loss of particular industry. Now, so the thing is that what my suggestion, as has been mentioned by the government of India, DSD, Dr. Sujit Datta and others also, that we have to create the awareness among the people. There are several myths. It is not only the COVID-19, and at different times the people, they have the idea that how we are getting the broilers that particular weight at 5 weeks of age, how it is possible. So the people, they do not know. It is because of the selection and breeding that we are applying, and we are developing such a breed we can weigh 2 kg or 2.5 kg at 5 weeks of age. There is no hormone. If we inject hormone, if we give hormone, that will be uneconomical. So all this type of myth has to be removed from the minds of the people through creating awareness. That part also we are doing in our institute. And any other help, maybe breeding, nutrition or health aspect, we are doing to the industry. Thank you so much.
So thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing your views. We'll circulate your email to our participants, and if they have any question, they can write to you. And I would at this time I can see Mr. Ganesh Sundarajan, MD, Sugana Industries has joined in, and we also have Dr. Ranade from he's a Dean, Mumbai Veterinary College. I welcome them both. And now my next question is to Dr. Petgaonkar. Mr. Petgaonkar, Dr. Chatterjee has already shared that there is a speculation rife on social media platform about the rumors that that are associated with the consumption of chicken. So why, as an organization, I would like to ask you, what steps as an organization you have taken to counter these rumors being circulated on social media and from consumers' mind, since it's a very price-sensitive business? What are your views?
Thanks, ma'am. As the session heading goes, the impact of COVID-19 and the way ahead, let me talk on both the aspects first. The first aspect is, as far as other industries are concerned, the COVID-19 impact started from May onwards. Whereas our poultry industry is concerned, the impact of COVID-19 started exactly from 4th of February. So we made 2 accidents successively in 2 months, that is February and March, because of which industry tried to cope up the things, whatever the rumors were there, those rumors initially started flourishing from social media, and because of which the impact was too huge on a broiler and of course eggs. So the realization went down, consumption went down, and because of which it took at least a month for us to counteract those particular rumors. Of course, those were rumors, those were completely false things which were being circulated. And when the things were expected to be very smooth, because as you rightly asked, what kind of campaign industry has taken or organization has taken, there were various campaigns taken by industry, organization, and all the farm level, right from Chicken Mela, right from awareness campaign, right from discussing with the medical facts related to and behind COVID-19 and the impact of, the relation of COVID-19 with actually virus and the poultry. So in fact, everything was nullified over a period of 1 month. And when things were expected to be normal, and then actually second shock came, and that shock was actual COVID-19 dead due to COVID-19 in India, and of course a lockdown. So industry suffered 2 consecutive accidents, because of which industry has not
I think we've lost Dr. Petgaonkar here. Kusum?
Yes, ma'am.
I think his connection, he's lost his connection.
So I think
then I could, yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yeah, yes, actually we lost, I think you lost your connection in between. Yes,
okay,
please go ahead.
Okay. No, again, I will repeat it. Whatever happened has happened because that was an accident, and now we have to come out of that, and what exactly is the road ahead we should do. There are 2 things. One, the things which are in the hand of industry, what industry can take. And there are certain things which is a policy support which is required from policy makers, or either government of India or the respective state governments. So in first aspect, of course, industry has to ascertain what is the exact demand of every state, and they should produce as per that demand. That is a basic and foremost important thing, whether it is a broiler or layer, which is in the hands of industry, and industry should follow that. That is one thing. But from policymaker point of view, I feel that immediate starting of midday meal scheme and incorporation of eggs in midday meal scheme, which is a big policy support which government of India or respective state government, if they really want to help the industry, that is the first and important thing which all the government, respective state government and government of India as a policy should incorporate eggs in midday meal. And at the same time, when we know that this capacity of 100% is built by a poultry for broiler and layer, and if demand destruction happens and if demand goes to 70% or 65%, then what to do with that 30% or 35% of the additional capacity? There, I think policy of government or a policy maker should peep into the picture, and there they should think what exactly to do with this particular ideal capacity which will be lying. Because any which way, I'm sure initially, at least for a period of 1 year, the demand, because there are certain other industries which will be getting impact, and per capita income is directly related to per capita consumption, whether it is a chicken or egg. So definitely it will have a hand-in-hand impact. So we really are illiterate people to ascertain what is going to happen to other industry, and then the things what will be impacted to poultry industry, that I think only a time and future will come to know. But as a policy, if we really want to support the poultry industry, then there are two things which we feel. One, there is erosion of working capital, where the inclusion of additional working capital needs to be brought into the system by whichever the financial institutes are there, and there I think the policy support is required, because to restart the business, it's not very easy. When we say that 22,000 crores of industry is lost, so that means almost 1.5 months or 2 months of working capital is completely wiped off from the system. So we need to incorporate and infuse that working capital, that maybe with the help of financial institute and the policy makers or finance ministry, definitely they will look into this sympathetically. And secondly, as a policy support, we request inclusion of eggs in midday meal scheme, which will give enormous support to layer industry. And third important thing, what we fear, poultry is a processing industry for agriculture. So why agriculture and poultry is seen separately, we don't know. Because if you see that today maize price has crashed to 1,000 rupees to 1,200 rupees, which is a 10-year low price. In 2010 and 11, we were purchasing maize at 10 rupees, 11 rupees and 12 rupees. And yesterday the recorded price of maize was 12 rupees. Reason? Hit to the poultry industry. Reason? Less production in poultry because of whatever the things have went wrong in last 2 months. So we are more and more concerned about agriculture along with poultry, because we believe agriculture and poultry go hand in hand. You know that 1 crore of the farmers, 50 lakh farmers of maize and 57 lakh farmers of soya are totally dependent on this particular industry. You know, right, the total maize production of country last year. Last year it was 25 million metric ton to 28 million metric ton, out of which almost 60% of the maize was consumed by poultry industry. And as far as soya is concerned, it was somewhere around 7 to 8 million metric ton, out of which almost 70% of the soya was consumed by poultry industry. So indirectly, poultry is a processing industry for agriculture. When you want to do something for a poultry, please keep it in mind that you are not only doing it for a poultry sector, but you are indirectly doing it for agriculture sector and maize farmers and soya farmers. So we feel that our next step should be, we should infuse a working capital into the poultry, so that not only poultry will get strengthened, but agriculture, right, sector will get strengthened, and inclusion of eggs into midday meal scheme uniformly in all the states, which will definitely have a long-term support for a layer industry. So that's it from my side, ma'am.
Well, thank you for sharing, incredible ideas and wonderful suggestions. I'm sure people at the helm will take a note of it.
Thank you.
My next question is to Mr. Bhave. Mr. Bhave, since you're also a part of this association, and we all know that feed is very important ingredient of poultry business, and due to current prices, poultry business has come to a great halt, and the nutritious feed is required at a very low cost. So I would like to ask you, are there any research initiatives taken by CFLMA to make more affordable and economical feed with high nutrition?
Actually, if you see the poultry industry or the nutrition of the poultry industry, the required energy or the required inputs are to be given. So it's not the case that you can drastically reduce the price of the feed and then you compensate the nutritional values. So what you need to do is, when values are to be maintained, the poultry ration is to be maintained. Only thing is, if you can compensate on raw material prices. So as on today, soya and maize, both the prices are at lowest level. So I don't think poultry ration will be more cheaper than this if you need to, as you need to give a adequate specification feed to the entire poultry.
Great, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now I have with me, since time is running out, I will quickly take one question. Mr. Khatri. So if you can unmute Mr. Khatri. Mr. Khatri, since you are the president of Poultry Federation of India, आपका क्या इसमें आप current scenario जो है, इसमें current production scenario की current production का आपका क्या views है? What do you have?
सबसे पहले मैं हेलो हेलो हेलो
और आप क्या एडवाइस, हाँ जी सर, हम सुन पा रहे हैं आपको।
सबसे पहले मैं सबको नमस्कार करना चाहूँगा। सबको मेरा नमस्कार। लेकिन सबसे पहले इंडस्ट्री हमारी जो आज जिस क्राइसिस में चल रही है, उस क्राइसिस को ध्यान में रखते हुए पूरी इंडस्ट्री में एक टेबल पर बैठ कर अपना कोई ना कोई ऐसा फैसला लेना चाहिए ताकि आने वाले समय में हमारी इंडस्ट्री इस क्राइसिस से उठ सके। तो ये थोड़ी हमारी रात है। एक मिनट आ जान भाई। हेलो
सर, हम सुन पा रहे हैं आपको, प्लीज बोलिए।
आवाज नहीं आ रही थी मेरे को।
हाँ, हम सुन पा रहे हैं, आप प्लीज बोलिए।
तो सबसे पहले पूरी इंडस्ट्री ने एक टेबल पर बैठकर अपनी प्रोडक्शन डिमांड के हिसाब से प्रोडक्शन को सेट करना चाहिए ताकि हम इस क्राइसिस से ऊपर उठ सके। सबसे जरूरी हमारे लिए ये है। और डिमांड के हिसाब से हमारी प्रोडक्शन नहीं है, आज भी नहीं है। चाहे वो छोटा प्लेयर हो बड़ा प्लेयर हो, मैं अपने आप में समझदार हूँ। मैं सोचता हूँ कि बस मैं अभी प्रोडक्शन कर लूँ, मेरे पास प्रोडक्शन है, बाकी तो सब बेवकूफ है। तो इस तरह का हमारे व्यूज हमारे इंडस्ट्री में है। अगर बस मैं प्रोडक्शन बढ़ा लूँ, मैं पैसे कमा जाऊंगा, दूसरा खाली बैठा है। तो इन चीजों पर हमें फोकस करना चाहिए। और सबसे पहले मैं डॉक्टर दत्ता और ज्वाइंट सेक्रेटरी अपने ओपी चौधरी का धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूँ। उन्होंने हर क्राइसिस में इंडस्ट्री का पूर्ण रूप से सहयोग किया। जब भी कोई क्राइसिस आया है, हम उनके पास गए हैं तो उन्होंने हर बात बहुत ध्यानपूर्वक सुनी और उस पर एक्शन भी लिया। और जैसे अब हमारे इंडस्ट्री में जो है, पिछले एक साल लेकर जाना चाहता हूँ मैं। जनवरी 2019 से हमारी पोल्ट्री इंडस्ट्री काफी उसमें है, क्राइसिस में है, क्योंकि कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन ब्रॉयलर की 85 से 90 रुपीज केजी रही है, जबकि सेल रेट रहे 60 से 70 रुपीज पर केजी। और अप्रैल मई को छोड़कर हमारे जनवरी से लेकर आज तक बहुत लो रेट पर ब्रॉयलर मार्केट चली है, जिसकी वजह से हमारी पोल्ट्री इंडस्ट्री काफी तबाह हो गई। छोटे किसान के पास तो पैसा बचा ही नहीं है काम करने के लिए। तो उनका गवर्नमेंट ने विशेष ध्यान देना चाहिए और लोन और इंटरेस्ट माफ करना चाहिए। कम से कम साल 2 साल की ईएमआई आगे बढ़ा देनी चाहिए, उससे पहले सर्वाइव नहीं कर पाएंगे। और तीसरा, चिकन प्रोसेसिंग के लिए स्लॉटरिंग हाउस छोटे छोटे फार्मर के लिए रूल रेगुलेशन थोड़े नरम करके उनको अलाउ करना चाहिए ताकि वो डायरेक्ट मार्केट में चिकन बेच सकें। जो बीच में मीडियोकर है, चिकन बेच रहा 40 रुपए के जी, आज वो फिर भी 200 रुपए के जी बेच रहे हैं। तो वो कंज्यूमर का और फार्मर का गैप खत्म हो जाए, कंज्यूमर को भी फायदा हो और फार्मर को भी फायदा हो। तो मैं गवर्नमेंट से ये चाहता हूँ भी छोटे छोटे स्लॉटरिंग हाउस की परमिशन छोटे फार्मर को देनी चाहिए। और तीसरी बात, प्रोसेस चिकन फ्रोजन चिकन पे 12% जीएसटी है, वो 5% करनी चाहिए। जो जीएसटी आ जाती है उससे डबल जीएसटी आएगी, टैक्स आएगा और उसका फायदा होगा गवर्नमेंट को। उसको 12% से कम करके 5% पर लेकर आना चाहिए ताकि फ्रोजन चिकन की मार्केट इंडिया में बढ़े और चिकन की लागत भी बढ़े। थैंक यू, धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू फॉर आपका व्यू शेयर करने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। वी ऑल्सो हैव इन आवर ग्रुप डॉक्टर AS Ranade, is a Dean Mumbai Veterinary College. Sir, I can see you have logged in as a attendee. So would you like to share some views here today? Kusum, if you can check Dr. Ranade, if you can unmute him, please.
Am I audible?
Yes, very much audible, sir. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm
please
good.
go
Thank
ahead.
you so much. Nothing much. Most of the people have spoken the truth, what is happening around, and we have been facing the problems every now and then. And this particular situation we have been facing since February. A lot of press conferences, a lot of releases we have given to say that there is no correlation between COVID-19 and chicken consumption or egg consumption. By the time this was understood by the consumer, the real problem came, and then the restrictions on the transport and everything started. Now there are 2-3 points which I just want to make, that there has to be a coordination between the instructions which are issued by the government right up to the ground level. Because allowing the feed trucks, allowing the vehicles carrying the birds, allowing the vehicles carrying the eggs, some places they are allowed, some places they are not allowed. Same is the case with opening of the shop. So little bit of a coordination in the instruction, or rather I would say the clarity, if it is there, that would be of help, number one. Secondly, right from the beginning, I have been saying that, you know, this COVID-19 is just the 20% of it. 80% relates to the overproduction. And the industry, farmers, everybody has to unite and decide how much they should produce, how much the market is in a position to absorb. In my opinion, there has to be at least 40% reduction in production of eggs and meat, whichever we are doing right now. So all the players in the industry, let it be a small player or a big player, should come together and decide about reducing the production to produce eggs and meat to the extent which, you know, the market is going to absorb. The next important point is now the people are now scared, you know, for live purchase of birds. So slaughterhouses processing chilled or frozen meat, opening the markets for that and advertising the benefits of that. And for that, the government support would be needed in terms of, you know, constructing the slaughterhouses at various places. That is something that is very much needed. And by and large, see, today is Corona, maybe after a few months there will be something else. But
Yes.
industry has to decide the productivity, grow gradually, slow but steady wins the race, depending on what the market absorbs, and then everybody will progress. You know, only I'll progress, nobody else will
Thank
progress.
you.
Tendency should not be there. And if we follow these rules, I think we are in business. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ranjit. Thank you very much for sharing your views. Luckily, we also have D. Ravindra. He's a general manager of NABARD. So, if Mr. Ravindra, if you can hear me, could you please say a few words here about the current topic that we are discussing?
Yeah, Vibha.
Yes, sir.
Could you hear me?
Yes,
Could you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you, sir. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon to all of you. I'm Dr. Ravindra, General Manager working in NABARD, Head Office in Corporate Planning Department. Hello?
Yes, sir. Please बताइए, what are your views, sir? What is your suggestion? If you would like to share, what initiatives has NABARD taken?
As far as NABARD is concerned, we, along with the RBI, could extend some relief measures to repayment of the interest and loans, especially the loans which are due from 1st March to 31st May. Their principal repayment as well as that installment repayment, and interest repayment were extended. In fact, we also seized the additional measures that are required for the poultry industry on the basis of the representation received from the poultry industry people and after interacting with the poultry farmers, especially for the reschedule of the loans. And also we recommended to the Government of India for converting the existing working capital loans to medium-term loans and extending the fresh working capital loans. That is the plea made by even Sundararajan ji also. So, because the poultry industry in the dire need of the working capital because of the loss of the income and loss of the produce, I can say. So, these are the few recommendations we have made. And apart from that, from the current scenario, what industry as a whole could do, I would like to share with the people. All of you know that because of the rumors that the coronavirus can be transmitted by the poultry produce, its consumption has come down, and after taking several measures, it could put back the demand was put back to the normal track. So here, publicity played a greater role. This is a learning one has to make out of this situation, and this media publicity should be always should be focused, not only for facing this kind of situations, but also for building the long-term demand for the poultry industry by way of improving the consumption and by way of exporting the produce, etc. So we should make use of these publicity measures. This is one suggestion I would like to make. And the second thing is, most of the people said that there is a supply chain disruptions. But I could appreciate here the great relief measures taken by the Government of India in restoring the supply chain disruptions. Still, poultry has got its own, demand for the supply chain because it produces in some states and it is being consumed in some other far away places. So this requires a coordinated effort between the government as well as the industry. and the other aspect is poultry feed industry is badly impacted because of the initial curbs on the movement of the feed ingredients. But now it's no more, and all the agri-produce can be moved very conveniently, very smoothly, without any hindrances. I hope this can meet the demand of the poultry industry, I mean feed industry especially. And as far as labor impact on the farms is concerned, I feel that the most of the commercial farms have their labor in-house. I mean, they are put in their own premises, and small farmers always use their family labor or labor which is available within the village or so. So this did not impact much the poultry industry as per my assessment, I can say. As per my assessment. And as far as road ahead is concerned, I would like to share some critical information which we could receive in recent past, I can say. Our noted agriculture economist says that this year we could see a bumper harvest and there is no crop loss at all. And only the loss to the farmers in agriculture sector is delayed income realization. It is not the loss of income. Therefore, our agriculture produce availability means raw materials for the poultry industry. From that perspective, I am saying, like availability of the maize or availability of the soya may not be get affected. And moreover, because of the government measures, now mandi operations have become smooth and procurement is going as usual in a normal pace. And I mean, in a speedier pace in case of Punjab, like states where entire wheat could be procured, what I could hear from the media. So in that way, the raw material availability for the poultry feed manufacturing will not be a constraint in future. And one more good thing is that there is no much price hike in the agriculture produce also. The marginal hike which happens in the due course of the inflation, etc., is going to happen. What the initial signals given by the agriculture economists is concerned. Therefore, the feed supply can be restored very easily, and feed manufacturers can procure their produce very easily in once the COVID impact is completely eliminated. And as because of this promotional measures or publicity measures, demand has also come back to the normal level, what I feel. Right. And some of the speakers also endorsed it. Means there will not be any demand constraint as far as the poultry produce is concerned. We have very little exports. Much is domestic consumption only, and it will not be impacted. And thereby the poultry produce prices may not be impacted much adversely from the consumer point of view or producer point of view. So once COVID impact is totally eliminated, I think the poultry industry will come back to the normal level. And one earlier panelist also said that it will grow like anything because of the its ability to grow at faster rate. Even Deputy Commissioner of Government of India also viewed that the poultry can grow very fast. So I feel that after initial setbacks, if some more reliefs from the financial institutions are given to the poultry industry, I think it can come back to the normal level. These are all my views. Thank you for giving the opportunity.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for this last minute, suggestions and views here. We are running out of time, and I can see a lot of questions are being asked by audiences. As I quickly take one or two questions. Dr. Umesh Balaji, I can see you are giving a lot of suggestions and you have a lot of questions, and I believe you are a Zonal Secretary of Indian Veterinary Association. Kusum, if you can unmute Dr. Umesh Balaji. And sir, what is your question and what are your suggestions? If you can quickly, share it with us. Dr. Balaji, Umesh Balaji.
Ma'am, what? Unmesh?
Umesh, yes.
Unmesh Sontakeji.
Yes. Yes, Dr. Balaji, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I can see you have been making a lot of suggestions and a lot of recommendations. Quickly, if you can just give us what are your suggestions as a Zonal Secretary of Indian Veterinary Association?
Yeah, the basic thing is that we are not facing this such situation first time. The poultry industry will cope up very fastly. I know that, and everyone is knowing. But the first thing is that we need to do a survey, statewide survey, what the poultry industry farmers really want, that the small farmer, large scale farmer, what their particular needs. And then after getting the data from the survey, the state policy should be formed, that the poultry industry, a state-wise policy is needed. And the second thing is that the maize and soya, as sir said that in future there will be no shortage of the maize and soya and other ingredients. But there is a possibility that in the farmers are not able to do their agriculture activity as usually they do. So in future, once the poultry industry start gaining its real gain, then the demand will increase, the maize and soya and other genes. Then there will be a shortage of the grains. So currently the import duty on the maize is around 60%. That import duty should be reduced by the state government, and also the government should be should focus on the subsidy on the feed ingredient, because the most cost is of any poultry industry egg for cost is because of feed ingredient. So we need to focus on that point also. And also we need to state-wise do policy, and government should form a team of experts, and central government should work for at least 2 to 3 years continuously on which associations, Indian Veterinary Association or Poultry Association, so that they can get in touch and they can form policies time to time, and they can get feedback from the farmers what they need. Because whatever we do currently, that will be not immediately implementable for 1 year or 2 years. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I think same sentiments have been echoed by all of other panelists also. Dr. Harkrishan Deka, quickly 2 minutes to you. Kusum, if you can unmute Dr. Deka. Dr. Harkrishan Deka. Okay, I think he...
Yes, ma'am, he's here.
Okay, Dr. Deka. Dr.
Am I audible?
Dr. Deka? Yes, you're audible. Please introduce yourself and please ask question.
I'm with National Smallholder Poultry Development Trust. We are working with 15,000 women's farmers, all are from rural areas. And they're small poultry producers rearing hardly 500 to 1,000 birds. And COVID has impacted them badly. In fact, their entire business is collapsed. And in this kind of a situations, to revive or rebuild this business of this 15,000 tribal women poultry producers is a giant task in front of us. And we are till now we are unable to figure out how to revive their business. But I have few suggestions to the industry, because there are big players in the industry might be participating here. So unless we have some mechanisms to control on the production aspects, especially we need to reduce the placements to 40-50%, because the rural consumption is in a mess. There is no money with people, number one, and number two, people in rural areas, people are really fearful for poultry. When we are trying to restart our poultry activity within a small scale, we have experienced a lot of resistance from the people. Even our producers are not willing to take the chicken, because they are believing that the chicken is the bomb for coronaviruses. Even other villagers are not allowing them to rear chicken. So we need to really think to cut down the productions, and government must think on promoting these processed chickens, might be fresh seal or whatever may be, so that wet market can be reduced, at least in the big towns, tier 1, tier 2. And government must take some measures, at least to give some reliefs to the poultry farmers in terms of interest subvention, or restructuring the loan, or by means of providing some supports to the small holders who have lost their entire capital. So a woman poultry farmer, tribal woman poultry farmer rearing hardly 800 or 1,000 chicken, if she has lost 1 lakh rupee just out of this incident, so she will never be able to return back to the activity unless she receives some support from the government. Right. Because they are not willing to refinance her. In fact, it's very extremely difficult to mobilize resources from banks, especially for the small holders. So these are the points I would like to highlight.
Thank you for sharing your points, and I'm sure people from Government of Maharashtra and Government of India will make a note of it. Well, since we are running short of time, I would like to just inform everyone that we have taken note of all the questions posted on the chat window, and I would like to assure everyone that we will be addressing all the questions, and we will be releasing a resource paper soon on all those questions that we have received today, and the same will be uploaded on Agrovision website. So please stay tuned and look for the rewards of all the questions that we have received today. Mr. Chituri, would you like to sum up the discussion in like 2 minutes?
Oh, thank you once again, Vibha. I think we have heard some very good comments and suggestions and all that, and then also heard some industry leader, Dr. Ranade and Mr. Ravindra, and I think Secretary from Maharashtra, if I'm not wrong. I'm sorry, I probably didn't really catch that right. And then of course Rajput has given what have been our requests from the government. So there are lots of ideas and lots of this thing, but there are immediate steps. There are something that we need to look at. What is it that the government looks at this? There are models and opportunities which we can use, of course, but I think what government also needs to recognize, like from I think one of them had said that I think Dr. Petgaonkar, is that poultry is not just poultry, right? As poultry does better, you are adding jobs. Each egg consumed more adds 30 to 40,000 jobs in rural areas. Each 50 grams of chicken consumed more adds another 25-30,000 jobs. So I think this is a huge opportunity to transform. Not only that, Andhra government, when they implemented 3 eggs and they were shocked at the benefit the students got out of this. So they immediately, within a year and a half, made it 5 eggs a week. And that's what the secretary said, is this is the cheapest investment we ever made in public health. And, and Andhra's record has gone up, from being one of the laggards within 2 years, it's become, it started comparing with Kerala in public, people's health and all that. So I think this is a huge opportunity for our government. We are having more and more younger children come in. We need great health, an egg a day for those mothers and for those children. Cures a lot of issues, which again is ultimately a big expense for government. So I think the opportunities are tremendous. I think the policymakers need to decide on how do they want to handle this. For sure, it's been an industry which did not, which grew by itself. But now I think it's too big. It's as big as the telecom industry and has huge potential to transform India, both health-wise and jobs-wise. So I think that's what I think government has to look at: immediate steps and medium-term steps, and they have to look at it, take it more seriously for sure. Which they are. To be fair to them, they are, and they are. But we are not the only industry affected this time. The whole country is in a certain kind of place, so we can get the priorities. But I think it's a huge opportunity for them to use poultry to especially transform the rural areas. Thank you once again, Vibha and the team.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chituri. So now let me please conclude this session and by thanking all our members of the panel for really sharing, exciting, excellent insights, and the participants for joining this webinar. And like I said, the resource paper for the same will soon be uploaded on the Agrovision website. We will compile all the questions and prepare the resource paper. And I would also like to thank Dr. Mai and Mr. Borodkar for their guidance and for their suggestions. And I thank you all the participants and panel once again. Thank you very much, everyone.